Hey guys, this is RuRoniK95 here, and welcome to the 2022 edition of my DVD and Blu Ray Collection library video series. Today, we're going to be showcasing some anime movies, including other movies in the genre category under the movie genre, like event, fantasy, sci-fi, horror, etc. And even one movie that I forgot to show you in my previous video, since I shown you in the past since last time. So let's dive right into this today on the Physical Media Video Library series. Welcome back. Okay, last time we already take a look back on my previous ones I did as well. I have some movies on here in the genres, including some anime movies that were released in, like, I believe it was 1986 on here, most of them. Well, yeah, for the 80s OVA ones, they're basically like direct-to-video ones, but for right now, I'm here basically showcasing the ones that were released in, like, Japanese movie cinema on here, especially for anime as well. Little bit of movies that were released in 1984 left over that I forgot to show you since last time. The first one here I'm going to show you here is The Karate Kid. This is the first Karate Kid movie, one of the greatest on here. This stars Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita on this one. This is better than the crap-ass 2010 movie starring Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, but nothing beats the classic 80s on here. Although I haven't seen the Cobra Kai series, which I think this is under the franchise of The Karate Kid on here. And the next one here I have is Baby Secret of the Lost Legend, which I've already shown you before also as well in my previous videos as well. And the next movie here that I got on DVD that I was going to showcase them to you on here, and this is The Goonies. This is directed by Richard Donner. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, because the story was done by Steven Spielberg, because I think he has worked with Richard Donner, as well as Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy on here. Yeah, you get this movie as well. And a couple of 80s horror movies on here. I have some are on DVD, and that is Reanimator. This is based on H.P. Lovecraft on here, because H.P. Lovecraft did some stories like this as well. Yeah. Well, this is based on Herbert West, The Reanimator, because I didn't know this was based on the story by H.P. Lovecraft. Pretty interesting, though. This has a 70-minute featurette, and this has a lot of extras on this DVD-based content, and this has the interview with Fangoria editor Tony Timpone on there. And this has a commentary with director Stuart Gordon, and there's other audio commentary with producer Brian Usna and actors Bruce Abbott, Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, and Robert Sampson on here. And this includes a DVD-ROM on here, includes the screenplay on there, if you can insert this DVD into your DVD-ROM drive. Especially if you have either a desktop or a laptop as well. With the especially the ones with the DVD-ROM drive on that one as well. And another movie that I have here, which is from the 80s on here, and that is Silver Bullet. This is another horror movie directed by Daniel Latias, and this was based on the book Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King on here. Yeah, because this has basically, if you ever been fascinated with werewolves in movies on here, you know, like the ones, for example, like werewolf movies from the 80s, like, for example, take an example, An American Werewolf in London, and The Howling, those are the biggest examples of 80s werewolf movies on here. And I must say that Silver Bullet is one of them as well. And yet, this is basically the stars Corey Haim, who later worked on the movie The Lost Boys, which was, I believe, 2 years later in 1987 as well. Yeah, what can I say? Can't go wrong with this movie. And another 80s movie that I have here on Blu-ray, and that is from the Warner Archive Collection, and that is Lady Hawk, starring Matthew Broderick, Rutger Hauer, Michelle Pfeiffer in that one. This was released by Warner Brothers in the US, but this is released internationally by 20th Century Fox, but it's now called 20th Century Studios, that's why. Michelle Pfeiffer did an excellent job in this movie as well. I love the cinematography, because this was done by Vittorio Storaro, who recently worked with Dario Argento at this point. Some of the locations on here, like, this includes Campo Imperatore, where they recently filmed the Trinity movies, that's starring Terence Hill and Bud Spencer, included in this movie, especially the film locations. On top of this, I like the music particularly, if you ever been music freak in your life as well. This is a nice Blu-ray set. Although I do have the 1997 DVD release that has all the extras, some of them were never added on the Blu-ray feature, like the production notes on here. And this includes movie recommendations that were never included on this release as well. And another 80s movie that I have here, we're into the 1986 in there. And this one I have that I got here is The Labyrinth, starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly on here. Yeah, this was with the work of Jim Henson Company and Lucasfilm Limited, which they were recently worked with George Lucas, that recently worked with Harrison Ford in the Indiana Jones movies on here. And basically, it's been a while since I've seen The Labyrinth, but I'll give this, it's one of those movies that I definitely look forward to have a rewatch on here. And I think I love this movie, because nothing can go wrong with The Labyrinth, starring David Bowie on here. Yeah, because this is the all-time greatest movies that ever came out in the 80s as well. What can I say? I love The Labyrinth, because The Labyrinth is basically considered to be my all-time favorite 80s movies on here, in case you're wondering. And another 80s movie from under the Sci-Fi movies on here, and that is directed by James Cameron, and that is Aliens. Yeah, this is the sequel to the first predecessor, which was originally directed by Ridley Scott. But in this one, this is directed by James Cameron instead of Ridley Scott on here, because Ridley Scott had no involvement on doing a sequel, so instead they hired James Cameron, that recently worked on Terminator movies on here. And the story on this one was done by Walter Hill, who recently worked on his films such as The Warriors and 48 Hours in that one as well. Yeah. The music in this movie is composed by James Horner, who recently worked on his other movies in the 90s, such as The Mask of Zorro on here. We'll get to that as well. Okay, sorry about that, in case you're wondering. I thought basically how I wanted to do this as well. Sorry about that, guys. My apologies. Where was I? Oh yeah, for the thing about aliens on here, this is basically is also available on the DVD as well as now on Blu-ray, part of the Alien Anthology set on Blu-ray, which I didn't know it has this. Pretty soon I will be upgrading to get the Blu-rays on here. At least Blu-rays has better quality on here, despite that they stopped making VHS tapes as well. And another sequel to The Karate Kid that I have right here, and that is The Karate Kid 2. This is the sequel to the previous predecessor on here, because I think this is available in the Karate Kid Collection DVD set on here as well. What can I say? This is the best sequel of all the great example of 80s movies on here. What can I say? I think I have this on there. And this has the featurette on there as well. And of course, another movie from a Don Bluth movie that I have here on VHS that I recently like is this one, An American Tail. This is the VHS I have on here. I got this for like $1 at a flea market, 99 cents or less as well. Yeah, this basically is the original tape released from, what was this? 1991. Yeah, this is a 1991 MCA Universal Home Video release, which I think this has a preview for An American Tail, Fievel Goes West on this VHS on here. Pretty cool, huh? I mean, I do love the artwork on this cover as well. And finally, to the anime, which I have here, because I have some anime movies that were released in the 80s on here, which I'm going to show you as well. This one here that I have is this one, Odin, Photon, Space Sailor, Starlight. Yeah, this is kind of like a guilty pleasure favorite of 80s anime, and I consider this to be my favorite 80s guilty pleasure sci-fi anime movies that were released in the 80s. Yeah, because I'm just going to call this as a guilty pleasure favorite, because this is like a little reminiscent to Space Cruiser Yamato or Star Blazers, because this is kind of Yamato-esque on here for this anime movie on here. But overall, this has the music of the Japanese heavy metal group Loudness also. You'll see them at the end where they perform the song title of the same name as this movie that you see at the end credits. Which I think that'll be in the extended Japanese dub version with English subtitles, which is the director's cut version on that one. However, the international version, this might have been the English dub version, but I like to watch it in its original Japanese with English subtitles on here. I'm wondering if Discotek Media will ever get a hold of this for a Blu-ray release. I'm pretty sure they will. Same with the home video distributor that released a bunch of anime on DVD and Blu-ray in Italy, which is known as Yamato Video. I'm hoping Yamato Video will ever get a hold of this for a DVD or Blu-ray release. If it's only in Italian dub, who knows? But I'm thinking Discotek Media will get a hold of this for a movie like Odin as well. Yeah, because can't go wrong with that. And another samurai favorite anime film from the 80s of all time, and that's my favorite ever since, and that is The Dagger of Kamui. This is actually my favorite samurai epic anime film on here. Because, in my opinion, The Dagger of Kamui, I love it. I think it's way better than Onyx Equinox and Freak Angels. I mean, stick with the real deal with The Dagger of Kamui, because you can't go wrong with 80s anime on here. However, there's a lot produced out here, especially for The Dagger of Kamui. This one also has an English dub on VHS, which is known in the title as Revenge of the Ninja Blade. But I got this on DVD because this has the original Japanese dub with English subtitles on this one. Yeah, because this is released by Animego, which is recently worked on releasing 50 volumes of the Urusei Yatsura TV series and the OVAs and the last 5 remaining movie ones back in the early 2000s. Yeah, this is a 2003 DVD release from Animego on here. When I first got this DVD, I thought this has come with the liner notes, just like my Arcadia of my youth or one of the Urusei Yatsura TV series DVD volume ones, but apparently not. But you get the point, though. I think I got this on Right Stuff not too long ago. Why not? Because there's only like a couple of screenshots right here, but I do love how it looks glorious of the artwork for the Dagger of Kamui when it has a lot to do. And a vampire anime movie, which is my favorite, that I finally been upgrading to get this on Blu-ray, and that is Vampire Hunter D. This is a original cult classic favorite anime on here. What can I say? I love this OVA anime. Yeah, this is directed by Toyo Ishida, who recently worked on Fist of the North Star, the TV series, and the anime movie. Well, this was released on December 21st, 1985 in Japan, around the same time as the Fist of the North Star TV series and the Urusei Yatsura TV series was airing at the time as well. Some of the designs on here was the animation character designs was done by Noriyasu Yamauchi and also Indori Goya on here as well. And this is done by, the character design was done by Yoshitaka Amano that worked on the Final Fantasy ones as well. Yeah. This has the original Japanese trailer, and this has the Sentai previews for other anime titles from Sentai Filmworks. Now it's called Sentai as well. And this has the new English dub on the Blu-ray. However, the old edition of Vampire Hunter D on VHS has the old English dub from Streamline Pictures on there. But this also includes the original Japanese dub with English subtitles on here. So I think that makes it a better anime to watch in its original Japanese with English dub on here. And another one I got here, I have is the Transformers the movie. This is the 80s one as well, because this is the old edition on VHS on here. Because I know this is animated by Toei Animation that recently worked on a countless numbers of anime on here. And this is the 2000 release from Rhino Home Entertainment on here. However, this has some of the extras on the old edition on DVD that were never featured on the new edition on here. This one also apparently got a Blu-ray release from Shout Factory on here. Pretty soon I'll probably upgrade to the Blu-ray release, because why not? Because I'm basically starting to become a Blu-ray collector. And finally, I have here my favorite 80s anime movies. That is Kick-Ass on here, and that is Fist of the North Star, the movie. This is the anime movie. This is directed by Toyo Ishida, and this is animated by Toei Animation. Yeah, this was released in 1986, around the same time as the Fist of the North Star TV series was airing at the time as well. Yeah, this has the old English dub from Streamline Pictures, but this also has the original Japanese language version with English subtitles on here, included on this DVD on here. Fist of the North Star, the anime movie, in my opinion, I love this anime movie. It is way better than that crap-ass Gary Daniels live-action Fist of the North Star movie that was released in '95. Yeah. The live-action version was a piece of shit. That's why. Stick with the anime movie, because at least the Fist of the North Star anime movie that was released in 1986, here's the real deal. That's why. Yeah, stick with the movie from the 80s on here. Nothing goes wrong with the classics on here. Highly recommend for those who love 80s anime. I have a feeling that I'm going to have a lot of 80s anime on here. And yet, this has a reversible cover, and here's the disc on here. However, the Blu-ray release of Fist of the North Star anime movie was released on Blu-ray by Discotek Media. Has the alternate ending on here, which I think if it was featured in like Japanese VHS releases that were released by Toei Video in Japan as well. And not only that, this was also really considered to be my second favorite anime movies that came out in the 80s, which has been my all-time favorite ever since. What can I say? This is what I love about 80s anime, because I love me some anime movies that came out in the 80s on here. That's the thing as well. Oh, and I forgot to show you, in addition to 80s anime on here, I almost forgot, an anime OVA movie, which I consider to be my favorite of all time, next to Fist of the North Star, is this one, Outlanders. This is my favorite on here. Yeah, the DVD of Outlanders on Amazon is going, like, pricey, and it's almost expensive on here. It's cost, like, $84 for an out-of-print anime DVD on here. Pretty soon, I'm hoping Discotek Media will get a hold of Outlanders for a good, proper Blu-ray release on here. This is highly recommended for those who love 80s anime. I have a lot of those. That's why. Because I haven't seen any newer ones, I guess. You know, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, or anything like that. But Outlanders, this is actually my favorite anime OVA. Yeah, didn't you know that this was based on the manga by Joji Manabe? I've heard good things about the manga on there. I might as well rewatch Outlanders at this point as well. Maybe this holiday season for a rewatch. That's why. Because I considered Outlanders to be my all-time favorite OVA anime titles on here. Because it's basically you can barely cross Urusei Yatsura with heavy metal. That's why. So that's going to be it for my video here on the Physical Media Video Library series for today, you guys. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's what I'm saying for this video as well. And now that you have here, I was showcasing some movies, genre ones that are released in 1985 and 1986, including a missing movie that I forgot to show you in the previous video. But I haven't thought of doing one until now, that's why. Hope subscribe for content. My anime plan link in the description down below. You can share this video on your Twitter, Facebook if you have Twitter and Facebook account, and all social media. Smack the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you want to check out my anime planet, link will be in the description down below, because I have a huge backlog of manga and anime on my Anime Planet account as well. That's why. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Click on the subscribe button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RuRoniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel as a newcomer. Smack the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified also as well for more latest updates. Patreon link will be in the description down below. This is RuRoniK95 saying thank you for watching my video. I'm glad you liked it. Hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Have a great day. This is RuRoniK95 signing off. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos. Take care.